I be trying to warn them. I do. I really do. Hey. Listen. They dwell all around us, some make it to the eye, but most times the person by your side, how they disguise. Your gut, it talks to you when it senses any harm. An internal built-in alarm turned on the caution warn. When you ignore it, and end up in a whirlwind of regrets. Every time your stomach bubbled, you dismissed all the threats. Was your spirit speaking, but you chose violence tweaking. And you caved into pride, now you locked for 1,000 weekends. Once you fly off the deep end on negative, you would depend. And someone coming friendly doesn't make them your friend. A little sharing of some gems, not too many comprehend, cause they stubborn, bullheaded, and their next got something to look forward to. For all it is you're going through, you got something to look forward to. So don't stop. Ivan.
Swing.
Can't hang. Go. I strive for the truth to my death, I hate liars. Even had to stop hating myself from lies prior. How can I rap about a lifestyle that I don't live and fail every answer if ever given a quiz? Can't afford to be a fraud, representing for the Lord. Gotta keep a sharpened sword even when it makes me bored. Cause I'm tired, a wife and kids now, time expired. Should've had a job and career, I be retired. Some are old head, but Ivan is ferocious as a lion. Through him I conquer all, so not the one to be trying. Humanity is wild and replicated times giant sirens, not the alarm type, but absolute the harm. My eyes open, which once was sealed without foresight. I remember when it was the heart and soul. What happened? Huh? I got it though. Watch. What's failed is the soul of it. Sounds all generic. Sampling gone now, organic, synthetic. No more crate diggers, condiments on beats. The sound of the streets now extinct, obsolete. It's that heat, feeling deep, pulsating in your chest. Snatch your breath under death, a word that I profess. Digest, I inject, ingest this intellect. If it's miss, hit rewind, you get it in retrospect. Son of a bastard who try to mimic all the good his dad did. Me don't follow his bad, edit the ad-lib. Wild kid chose not to listen, so learn the hard way. When you choose the streets, it ain't easy to stay from harm's way. Walking through the valley of death. What's the reward? What's the reward? Let's go. Go ahead and get fancy. It won't last long. Don't spend it all, have nothing left to stand on. Cause once the power is cut, Lord, the land gone. A lot of dudes show their nature bras and tampons. Before 20, I already knew plenty. Behold a pale horse and an unseen hand. Building sessions with my man, stacking up and making plans of all sorts of weaponry. Combat hand to hand. Never knew I'd see the day. Conscious minds turning straight. Woke doctors wash brains, ways different.
We alive, we live. Salute. Peace, Godspeed. Once again, it's God time. Do you see what we see? Salute. We are back in effect. Everything is good. Back in effect. And we are live with another one tonight, continuing following suit with predictive programming. Will you follow suit or will you resist? Will you follow suit or will you resist? We're going to get into some things tonight as I share some more information in what's going on around the world, across the planet. one of the latest things that's happening is the UK and their announcement with the digital ID, and we touched on that last week. And I said, by the grace of God, I will be here again this week to go through it and share some clips with the presentation tonight with the topic of, will you follow suit or will you resist? Again, continuing on with predictive programming. So we're going to get right into it. I want to share something that I made mention last week in regard to the mark of the beast. What it appears that they're trying to replicate in these times. So I'm going to get a clip to share. I'm going to get a clip to share in regards to that, and I'll urge you to do your own research, do your due diligence, and do your own research on anything that I present or anybody presents as a point of information that can potentially be a fact, or it could be something that is bogus, but you wouldn't know unless you research and check for yourself. As always, if you believe, praise God. If you don't, praise God. You have your liberty, you have your freedom. All I'm doing is sharing the information, and you do it as you see fit. So let's get into it. I'm going to share one clip on this. And again, as I mentioned, you can go ahead and do your due diligence. Whatever shared in this presentation will be available later in the description. Let's get to it.
To me, to be a very good explanation of the mark of the beast happening around 70 AD. And it was during the time of Nero.
And now, the only thing, again, when you go and do your own research and you look this up and these different dates, I really get annoyed when people just round off everything to 70 AD, because 70 AD is an actual turning point. It wasn't 70 AD when the Romans came and did what they did. They had already been in there prior to that. And what I mean by there is Jerusalem. They had already been there prior to that. From 66 AD. From 66 AD. 70 AD would be the return of the king, and everything that he promised and said that would happen, that people would see, they saw in that time. So it has to be explained. But again, when you do your own research and you look and you see the timeline, and even that's up for debate whether it's believable or not, because we've been lied to so much about times and dates and events and even historical figures. But 70 makes sense when you understand the system and the number system, should I say, that we read in the scriptures and how God operates. And 7 is one of those numbers. 70, which again is that set, is also 7, whether it be 70, 700, 7,000, is still representative of that number 7, which is completion. So 70 AD makes all the sense in the world for the time where the king came and the things that he promised he would do and what people would see when he would return happen in 70 AD. So that would also be the commencement of the 1,000-year period. You have some that argue that this time that we're in right now is not actually the time that we think it is. You have some people that believe that it's not 2025. A lot of time was added to our calendars, to our timeline, to deflect the fact that there was 1,000-year millennial reign of the Holy King on the planet Earth. So that's a way longer topic and discussion. So I just wanted to clarify that in regard to people just saying the year, 70 AD with no explanation to it.
And so what this said is that the mark of the beast actually has a spiritual and a physical component. So there are two components to the mark of the beast. And we know that much of scripture is like that. There are more than one meanings. There even with prophecy, there are more than one meanings. So spiritually, what the mark of the beast was loyalty to Rome and allegiance to the beast. Physically, during that time period, there were Roman coins and deeds with Caesar's image, and they forced the Jews of that time to use those things to buy and sell, which went against the law in Exodus and Deuteronomy, which has no graven images. And you had brought that up earlier about the graven images. Another
All right.
interesting thing, do I want to bring that up now?
All right. Appreciate that. I didn't even notice that. I appreciate that. Let me get it back. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Let's get it back. All right. Give me 1 second. Here we go. All right, we there now. Let's get it.
To me, to be a very good explanation of the mark of the beast happening around 70 AD. And it was during the time of Nero. And so what this said is that the mark of the beast actually has a spiritual and a physical component. So there are two components to the mark of the beast. And we know that much of scripture is like that. There are more than one meanings. There even with prophecy, there are more than one meanings. So spiritually, what the mark of the beast was loyalty to Rome and allegiance to the beast. Physically, during that time period, there were Roman coins and deeds with Caesar's image, and they forced the Jews of that time to use those things to buy and sell, which went against the law in Exodus and Deuteronomy, which has no graven images. And you had brought that up earlier about the graven images. Another interesting thing, do I want to bring that up now? Let me just think. Well, I'm just going to bring this up now because in Deuteronomy, another very interesting thing in Deuteronomy 6, verse 8, it says, tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as reminder. So this concept of the hand and the forehead does not happen only in Revelation. It happens several times where it is mentioned in the Old Testament. And what that means is it is symbolic of giving an allegiance to, are you giving your allegiance to God? Who are you following? Who are you worshiping? Mm-hmm. And that's really what it means, is that the specific.
All right, so I'm going to leave it there with that. Again, that'll be available in the description. And I urge everyone that's watching to do your own research. Do your due diligence in researching the topic of the mark of the beast and everything that Christ spoke in regard to the time when he would come to render his judgment. Right now, we are in the time known as the little season after the millennial reign, waiting for the war of Gog and Magog and the coming up against the beloved city, and then fire from heaven from God burning them up, and then the great white throne judgment. So a lot of things are going to be happening, going on in this time. And what it seems like, what it appears to be, is that because their time was cut short, as it was prophesied by the king, that if the time would not be cut short, there would be no flesh to be saved, that they really weren't able to go full scale with their plans during the time of the Caesars. And a lot of those Caesars after Nero, a lot of them are made up. There's a lot of made up history to cover the fact that the 1,000 years transpired. So again, if you believe, praise God. If you don't, praise God. You have your liberty, you have your freedom. I just urge you to look it up. I'm not going to share everything in regards to that, because I want to go into everything with this digital ID, and I have a lot of clips to share. But the information in regard to the mark, I will have in the description. And the lady was speaking, and she made a very a valid point in regard to the mark having been there already, but in righteousness. And that's in Deuteronomy chapter 6, when you read about the frontlets being bound in your hands and in your forehead, in between your eyes. And that was God's mark, his word. So we see that everything that's done in righteousness, the enemy takes and does in wickedness. That's clear. So let's get to it. So we have an understanding for people that, may not know. The UK is not just London, it's not just England, the UK. The UK is made up of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. That's what makes up the United Kingdom. Okay? And the United Kingdom is saying that it's going to be mandatory for digital IDs. That's what's being said. There will be mandatory digital ID. So while you have some people that say what they have the idea of the mark of the beast is some chip, I'm going to show you that you don't need a chip for you to be scanned and for you to be able to buy or sell. You don't need a chip. So we really have to look into, in regard to this time, the vastness of the beast. Everything that's being implemented is from a man. So it doesn't take away from what's written in Revelation 13, that is the number of a man, and that a man is behind it. But it would appear that in this time, it is referring to a beast system, which is still the mark of the beast. It still comes from a man. It's been introduced for a while. There's been different facets of the plan introduced, where people have taken it. You have some people that thought it was credit cards. If that's the case, then whoever has a credit card, you have the mark of the beast. That's not the mark of the beast. You have people that think it's a chip, the RFID chip. That's not the mark of the beast. It will have to be something that clearly states you will not be able to buy or sell or do any type of business without this. And that seems to be the whole digital ID system. That idea, the idea of all your information being somewhere digitally, and it could be turned off at any moment. Whatever you have could be wiped out in any moment. I'm gonna go through some clips where Hollywood has shown this with their predictive programming in movies. So let's get to it. Will you follow suit or will you resist? Continuing on with predictive programming, will you follow suit or will you resist? And it seems like the next runner-up as a guinea pig is the United Kingdom. So let's get to it. Once again, peace to everybody that's tapped in, that's tuned in tonight. Salute to you, Godspeed. I appreciate you for being here. Let me know how we sounding. Let me get a thumbs up if we good. Here we go.
I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because
problem, reaction, solution, as always. What's the problem? The problem is you have quote unquote illegals coming in to these European countries, but let's stick with the UK. You have illegals coming in and them benefiting off of all the resources that are rightfully due the citizens first. So within the agenda and their plans, they allowed all these foreigners and quote unquote illegal aliens to bust through the seams in their borders and come settle in these places. The people start getting upset because that's the problem. They coming in and they're doing what they're doing, and they're also getting benefits that's supposed to be for the people. That's the problem. The reaction, you have protests and people rising up, shutting down highways and freeways and expressways and streets for blocks and blocks and blocks. You have your reaction. And the solution now is these digital IDs. Now, a person that has all the proof, all the credentials to show that they are a legal citizen, they're not going to have a problem with that. Like, yeah, I'll do it. Because they want to eliminate the problem. And in them doing that to quote unquote eliminate the problem, they line themselves up to be eliminated by yielding over your control to them. Right? So let's continue.
Decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people. They want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes. For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, we could be we're tracked every day anyway, through the use of our mobile phones. I suppose what I
this is a prime example of accepting the solution. With rationality, with a rational mind. As he stated, the gentleman stated, we're already being tracked on these phones, which is 100% factual.
I think is some people complain about immigration. Some people complain about people complaining about immigration. You know, we all need to do whatever we can to support the government to manage immigration. And identity cards are a way of doing that. It's something people have been calling for a while. And I think it needs to be thought through. I was surprised at the announcement yesterday, which did seem to come out of the blue. I think people need to be prepared for this, but I think ultimately it's the right thing to do.
I just don't see the point of not having them, because we have ID all the time with, you know, driving licenses, often carry our passports around. So yeah, I don't have a problem with them.
I mean, I think there are civil liberty concerns about it. I'm kind of worried about how that will be enforced, what people will be forced to choose. I wonder how effective it will be about actually managing it, and I think in the current climate, I think it puts emphasis on the experience of kind of asylum seekers and immigrants and migrants to this country, when often they're just trying to live life and do things and get on like we all are. So I'm not in support of it based on what I've seen so far.
I think in principle it's a good idea. I think the idea of the ID card what is in principle a very good idea. I'm hugely concerned about the whole push towards AI and digital, because of course, you know, we know that there are dangers with holding an enormous amount of people's information digitally.
Yeah, so he's this is a person that I'll accept it, I'll go through it, but we know the dangers, right?
It gets lost, it gets taken, it gets used. We don't know what happens with it, and I think it comes with a huge number of pitfalls. I think it needs to be looked at very, very carefully, because I think there are huge implications. I think there are particular bonuses to it, but I think there are huge implications ethically as well.
Well, we had them. I had one. I mean, I had one in the 50s. So it didn't cause, I was only a child obviously then, but it didn't cause any bother then.
No, I don't agree with anything Starmer does.
Why not?
Because he's no good at his job.
Why are you against the ID cards?
Well, I don't think anything he does is any good.
Probably not the best of ideas. Because, like, with anything digital, everything can be changed, so...
So you have it there. You have what was presented in regards to these IDs, the mandate, and then you have some of the people's reaction to it. Let's get some more, because this is a big topic. This is a big point of discussion that's going on right now in Europe, because with the UK, with the United Kingdom adopting this and implementing this mandate, that's going to open the doors for these other European countries to follow suit, and it's going to spread. So let's get the next one. Again, everything that's presented will be available later in the description. And I'm going to show you some in Hollywood, how Hollywood has been predictive programming this for a while.
We start here
programming all of this for a minute.
in the UK on an issue that's divided the country over the last few decades. Every adult will need a new government-issued digital ID to prove they live and can work here. Well, under plans to be announced by the Prime Minister on Friday, the move is part of efforts to crack down on illegal working. Most European countries already require their citizens to hold ID cards, but the UK has long resisted, with concerns over civil rights and privacy issues. Here's our political correspondent, Ian Watson.
ID cards are not a new idea. They were compulsory during the war and not abolished until 1952. The idea was revived in 2005 by Tony Blair's government.
Look into the mirror.
The then Home Secretary was seeing how these biometric cards would work. They were supposed to tackle illegal working and establish entitlement to public services, but the scheme faced technical challenges and political opposition and hadn't been implemented by the time of the 2010 election, when the Conservative Lib Dem coalition scrapped them. And now the idea has been revived under this Labour government. Ministers have been looking at a digital ID scheme in Estonia in Eastern Europe, which is used to access public services. And they believe that attitudes towards ID cards have softened as concerns about illegal immigration have risen. The government's direction of travel has been clear for some time. Earlier this month, Keir Starmer told the BBC why he thought they were a good idea.
I'm determined to stop people making that crossing across the channel and to get people out of our hotels. And therefore I am looking at ID cards or digital ID, because we do need to look at the pull factors.
The Prime Minister believes this is an important weapon in his armoury to tackle illegal immigration, but his idea is creating clear blue water between government and opposition.
Keir Starmer scrapped the Rwanda removals plan without having any other plan in place. He said he was going to smash the gangs. He hasn't done that. Digital ID cards is not going to smash the gangs or stop the boats.
I fear this is a bit like what they tried to do before, where it's authoritarian, where it's centralised, where it's controlled by the state, and we should oppose that like we did before.
And there are practical.
So you have a lot of people that's opposed to it. You have people that are in favor of it. There was a guinea pig before the UK. And they're so advanced. They don't need anything as far as a chip or any implant. All they need is your face and your fingerprints or your biometrics. And they think about it. They've been making it easy. And wrong word. They've been making it where you are accepting of it and you become more comfortable with it. I mean, you have bank apps on your phone. And instead of just putting your password in, you opt in to do the biometrics with a fingerprint. Some of your phones, you can't get into your phone unless it has some facial recognition. So it's already been geared up to receive this. You're already being conditioned to receive this. But when we get to a point where you're being told you will not be able to buy, sell, do any business unless you have this, this is the time to have your antennas up. Because once it's seen that a place is rocking and rolling with it, then it's going to open the floodgates for other places to be accepting of it and for that mandate to start spreading planetarily all over the planet. And governments investing in AI technology, hundreds of billions of dollars in AI technology and surveillance. What do you think that's for? While it is used against criminals and people that are actively involved in crimes, is also going to be monitoring the law-abiding citizen. And it was done already. It was done in China. I'm going to share some videos from China with this very system that is being posed for the UK. Is this the same video? I'm bugging out. Give me a second. Yep, this is not the video. My fault. Here we go. No, this is not. Give me a second, y'all. My apologies. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is the potentials of what happens with a digital ID.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name. Now, the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not. For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it, and anyway, we don't have a choice.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a...
Now, I want to say that from what I've researched, this is not in effect anymore in China, supposedly, allegedly. They don't do the social credit score anymore, supposedly, allegedly. But you are constantly being surveillance. There's cameras everywhere, millions of cameras.
No. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Xiao Wenwang is a model citizen. She lives in Nanjing, a testing ground for social ranking. Married with a child, she has a job in a retirement home, no debts, and she wouldn't dream of jaywalking.
As a good citizen, I respect the rules of the road. If I didn't, I'd lose points on my social credit.
In theory, everything can be taken into account in the social score, even the most innocuous errands like supermarket shopping. When Xiao Wenwang makes an electronic payment, her purchases tell the state a lot about her. Buying cigarettes would count against her. On the other hand, nappies show she's an attentive mother. Beer could indicate alcoholism. She'd be better off buying water. In this pilot city of 8 million people, there are only 18,000 model citizens. For Xiao Wenwang, there are perks to be had, such as paying half price for the bus.
I get discounts for all public services, even at museums. And the library's for me, thanks to my score.
A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses, across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to 0. On it are companies, but also 23...
Can you imagine that in this country? Can you imagine it?
million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu. He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That's crazy.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Once you're blacklisted, you can no longer get a bank loan, start a business, buy an apartment, or even send your children to a private school.
That's crazy. And this all started with a digital ID system, right? Let's get some more. This is real. This is not a theory. This is not coming from my imagination. This is real. This is actually going on in countries, and we're just checking out China. But it's big in Switzerland. It's already in effect in Switzerland. A lot of this is in effect in Switzerland.
Imagine walking through a city where every camera watches not just your movement, but your face, your mood, your heart rate. Every step is tracked, every action recorded. And that information doesn't go to a security guard. It goes to an algorithm. Welcome to China's surveillance state, powered by artificial intelligence. In this video, we'll uncover how China's AI surveillance system works, how it's changing the daily lives of 1.4 billion people, and why governments across the world are both copying and fearing it. This isn't just about cameras. It's about control, behavior, and the silent evolution of society. China has installed over 700 million surveillance cameras, nearly one for every 2 citizens. But this isn't your average CCTV network. These are real-time AI-powered systems. They don't just record video. They identify faces, detect suspicious body language, monitor crowds, and even predict unrest. And they...
This is not a movie. This is not an AI presentation. This is real. And if you look at China's cities, a lot of their cities are super advanced. Far more advanced than America. And then you check out the crime rate in comparison to the Americas, or specifically the United States. And you see a great difference. And it's because of this system. It's not that things don't go on, they still go on, but it's nowhere on a level as what goes on in this country and other countries where this is not at. And that's always been a part of the agenda, to get to the point where the people would want it. That's all part of their game. What you wouldn't accept normally, they manipulate you to want to accept. Problem, reaction, solution.
do it all in seconds. A person flagged by the system can be tracked across an entire city, from subway stations to public parks, without a single human ever getting involved. But the tech goes even further. Facial recognition AI can determine not just who you are, but how you feel. It can detect if you're anxious, angry, stressed, or disengaged. In some schools, AI monitors students' emotional state during class, alerting teachers if a child seems distracted or depressed. In workplaces, some employers use the same system to gauge employee motivation and compliance. This is behavioral analytics at a national scale.
When you look at it, there's no government on earth. There's no nation of people on earth that is not subjected to being experimented on and being used as test subjects by its government. That's the reality. For your government to experiment on the citizens, you being a citizen and you being subject to experiments, that's an evil government. And it's not just within the government in the country that we live. This is all across the planet. Governments that do this to their citizens. Same game of politics is all over the planet in every country. It's the same thing.
And then there's China's infamous social credit system. Every citizen is assigned a score based on behavior, financial activity, online comments, even friendships.
And again, allegedly, supposedly, this is no longer something that's being done there, the social credit system.
Good score? You get travel perks, discounts, and faster government services. Low score? You might lose access to trains, jobs, even dating apps. AI is what makes this system scalable. No.
Can you imagine that in New York? You got a poor credit score. You can't hop the train no more because every station is damn armored. And you can't get on the train because your score is too low. You live in the Bronx, but you work downtown around Wall Street. How you getting to work? Can you imagine? I know there's other cities across the country that have subway systems or transit systems, but say New York because it's the biggest. Can you imagine?
Human could ever track 1.4 billion people in real time. But AI can, and it doesn't forget. Imagine being denied a plane ticket because you crossed a red light last week, or being blocked from applying to college because your parents posted something critical about local officials. These aren't conspiracy theories. These are real stories from real people inside China. For many, it's not about fear, it's about silence. You don't protest the system. You live within it. And that's exactly how it's designed. In some Chinese cities, police officers now wear AI-powered smart glasses. These glasses scan every face in real time, checking against criminal databases.
So again, the rest of that will be available in the description. But this is going to be the outcome of digital IDs. That will be the outcome. There's plans already for this country to have that same AI technology. And it's going to be in these cities that are hot. All these cities that are hot with crime and everybody that's gang. They allowed it so they'd be able to implement it because the people would want it. You have people actually demanding and asking the president to send the National Guard to their area in Louisiana, in Atlanta, in all kind of places, demanding. And it's not white folks. Problem, reaction, solution. Let's get the next one. So I was saying earlier, most people would say, you have people saying the mark of the beast is the chip. That chip is volunteered as it is right now, as it stands. It's been a volunteer thing if you want to do it or you don't. This digital ID, though, is something different. It's a mandate. It's a mandate, which means it is mandatory. You are obligated to get this or else. It's mandatory to get this or else. You can't work. People be volunteering to put that chip in them so they can have the convenience of not carrying a wallet and carrying their money on them, or even, excuse me, the key to get into their home. People that are so fascinated with technology that do everything with technology. It's going to be a sad day when you're not able to access things because of that. So let's get the next one. Oh, appreciate it. Salute to the bro Royal Netics. Peace, brother. Peace, my brother. Salute. Let's get to the next one. So it's not about having this chip inside of you or any of that. Let's show you.
Then this is the machine. I use my hand here. Okay, it is recognizing my hand. Okay, the transaction is done. Hello guys, today I want to show you how to make a payment with your hand only in China. In my previous video, some people have already seen that you can make a payment with your...
This is an actual Chinese gentleman in China showing you how it works.
Face only, but new technology has came out in China. Now you can just use your hand to pay for anything in the 7-Eleven convenience store. And I have seen many comments that people in the West are so afraid, even they are scared of this kind of technology. I don't know about you, but I think this is very common. And most of the big company in the West, like the Google, the Facebook, the Apple, they already have your data and information. And I don't know why that you are so scared of it. From our perspective, we think this is just a tag. It makes our life easier. It makes payment.
You see, that's the presentation for someone to be so naive and gullible to accept that. Asking what is there to fear? The fear is you being denied traveling because you spoke out against something that was not just, or something that was not fair on social media, and the government didn't like it. You have this AI technology that's watching you and quote unquote assessing you and your mood, and say your mood comes up as annoyed and you lose a point from your social credit status, where the more points you go down, you're denied access to things. Absolutely, there's a reason to be afraid of this. So again, will you follow suit or will you resist? What are you going to do? Let's continue.
More convenient, and that's it. We don't think too much about it. So here we are at a 7-Eleven convenience store. So I'm going to pick a Coca-Cola. So here's the machine for payment. So I can choose member or non-member here. So I choose non-member. So now it says I need to scan the product. So I scan it. And then I'm going to make the payment here. And there are various ways for the payment. And the first one is the WeChat pawn payment. Is like the second one is the face recognition payment. And there are some others. So let me just show you my face. So it now recognizes my face and it says enter the last 4 digits of my cell phone number. Okay, now the transaction is done. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to pick another thing to try the hand recognition payment. Let me this lemon tea. So I'm going to choose a lemon tea. Okay, I scan the product again. That machine doesn't work here because it doesn't have the latest kind of machine. And then I choose here. Okay, the first one is for pawn recognition payment, and I choose this. And then this is the machine. I use my hand here. Okay, it is recognizing my hand. Okay, the transaction is done. I can get my receipt here. Normally, if this is your first time to pay for it, you need to confirm on your phone, on your WeChat. And just like the Apple Pay, you need to do some setup. But this is not my first time, so I get this without using.
So you see that without scanning no chip or anything, just your face and your palm. Just your face and your palm into the system. Let me show. I'm gonna share a couple where Hollywood has used this. The brother mentioned it earlier, and I have an episode piece from there to share. Black Mirror in the airport scene.
Hi there, how you doing?
I am wonderful.
I am so sorry. That flight is canceled.
No.
Customer incident at the other end.
What? So when is the next flight?
Yeah, they're all kind of full.
I booked this weeks ago. It's my best friend's wedding.
I'm sorry.
I have to get there. I have to.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
I see there's one standby seat on another plane leaving tonight. That's reserved for members of our Prime Flight program. You got to be a 4.2 or over to qualify.
Oh, I'm a 4.2.
I'm afraid you're actually a 4.183.
Oh. Well, that's not my fault. Some woman dinged me down in the couch. Can't you just...
I'm sorry, it won't let me book it without the correct ranking.
But it's so close.
There's just nothing I can do.
Christ, I mean, surely.
I'm gonna have to ask you to moderate your language there.
Sorry, it's just... I'm maid of honor. I cannot miss this wedding.
And I am so sorry about that.
Can you call the supervisor?
I cannot do that.
Can you just call the supervisor?
I cannot do that.
Call the fucking supervisor.
Okay, that's profanity. We're zero tolerance on profanity.
I'm sorry, it's just...
Yeah, I have to serve the next customer.
No.
Step away, ma'am.
God, just fucking help me! I'm so sorry.
I've called security.
Oh, no, please don't do that. I'm a 5-star on you. 5 stars?
What's the issue here, Hannah?
Intimidation and profanity.
Oh, no, I was not intimidating.
Don't speak, ma'am.
I was just trying to...
Okay, so, in order to restore calm, I'm invoking my authority as airport security to dock you 1 full ranking point as a punitive measure. This is a temporary measure.
No!
The score reverts to normal in 24 hours.
No, but I need it now.
Period. All downvotes are subject to a ×2 multiplier.
×2?
So you seen this series? It's like very dystopian, Twilight Zone type of series, and there you have that social credit. And what can happen, right? I have another one. So this is predictive programming. They've been showing this to us in movies, and you just go to the movies to be entertained. That you should learn a lot. You're supposed to learn from these movies, not just be entertained.
Gun, noun, portable firearm. This device was widely utilized in the urban wars of the late 20th century, referred to as a pistol.
I don't need a history lesson. Come on, Hal. Where the goddamn guns?
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
Fuck you.
Your repeated violation of the verbal morality statute has caused me to notify the San Angeles Police Department. Please remain where you are for your reprimand.
Yeah, right.
So Demolition Man, the symbolism also in Wesley Snipes being a Black American, but he has blonde hair and blue eyes. So there's a lot of symbolism in this movie. But as you can see, he's someone, if you know the movie, you know he's someone that was from the past that was frozen, and then he's here in the future, and you have that social credit system in full effect. And this is where in the United States. Right? So I got one more, which was this was a very good movie. Just to show the levels of surveillance that can be done. It's just a matter of time. And it's been being done already, but it's just a matter of time before it's implemented full scale. It's a very good movie, 98. And
Yeah, so Julia, I'm going to finish up my Christmas shopping. Hey, do chicks dig lingerie?
Hi.
Hey, hi.
What size?
Yeah, right. She's a 6.
What about cup size?
I'm sorry? Oh, she's way bigger than that. I mean, not noticeably.
Help me. Robert Clayton Dean. He's a D.C. labor attorney.
Take us around the other side.
Focus on the drop.
Is it a tape?
A powerful man has been murdered.
Holy.
A hidden camera recorded the crime.
None of this goes beyond us. We don't need any more problems, do we?
An innocent bystander
Are those my Christmas presents?
In your dreams, buddy.
Dad.
was
Robert Clayton Dean. He's a D.C. labor attorney.
Here's a sidebar. This is what would be considered the deep state.
Take us around the other side.
Focus on the drop.
Is it a tape?
a powerful man has been murdered.
Holy.
A hidden camera recorded the crime.
None of this goes beyond us. We don't need any more problems, do we?
An innocent bystander
Are those my Christmas presents?
In your dreams, buddy.
Dad.
was given the evidence.
We have reason to believe that Mr. Zavitz may have passed sensitive materials to you.
No, he didn't pass me anything.
How did you happen to be at Ruby's today?
I was shopping for some lingerie. That's still legal, isn't it?
For your wife?
No, I was picking something up for myself. I do a little cross-dressing on the weekends.
Let's get into his life.
Produced by Jerry Bruckheimer.
Take his wife and kid, he'd give it up for them.
Target switching.
Directed by Tony Scott.
Why are they after me?
2 targets, rooftop.
You have something they want! I don't have anything!
Request immediate keyhole visual tasking. Target is on 21.
Don't do this to me.
So this technology is being showcased in 1998 in a movie.
19.
I've been a law-abiding citizen my whole life. One day with you, shoot.
He's running! He's on your 6 o'clock!
Will Smith.
Certainly carjacked a really nice car.
Gene Hackman.
You're either incredibly smart or incredibly stupid.
We'll see in a minute.
Enemy of the state.
Should have gotten her a watch.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. 1998, and they displayed that technology. So that's that. Again, everything will be available in the description that was shared tonight. Continuing with predictive programming. Will you follow suit or will you resist? The digital ID is something that should raise alarm, especially when you hear mandate, mandatory. When the virus was going on, it wasn't mandated. It was up to jobs, employers, and things of that nature. but as a whole, it wasn't mandated over the government. This is the UK Prime Minister saying that it will be mandatory for every citizen to have a digital ID. And that's the only way you're going to be able to have a job, to travel. Why? Because they want to get rid of the problem with the quote unquote illegals. So to get rid of that problem, here's the solution. And you have people that are with it. And they rationalize with it under the idea that people, they already have all our information. But there's more nefarious plans behind it if people follow suit. It's just the truth. If you believe, praise God. If you don't, praise God. You have your freedom. You have your liberty. But they are trying to replicate something that was already done, which is the mark of the beast. The millennial reign already happened. Just what, like 2 weeks ago, you had people that sold cars and houses and gave up passwords and stuff because they're following some lunatic saying that the rapture was going to happen September 23rd. This is crazy. One of the topics of discussion soon to come is cults, especially identity cults, the identity cult groups. That's one of the topics of discussion and presentations to come. People are so gullible, just listen to things and don't examine, don't investigate, do their due diligence to see if something is true or not. And then if you're a believer, you know that it's documented that no man knows the time. You might be able to get some ideas and clues from different things that's going on that was said to look for, but you don't know the time. No one. So you had people September 23rd, they was in the forest crying out. Nothing happened. You even had the ones who say they are blowing horns and everything. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And people thought it was the rapture. And now you have another lunatic that's saying it's going to be between October 6th and October 12th. Yeah, I was one of them. I was one of them. In the year 2000, exactly in the year 2000, before the year 2000, about 98, I think I got my first credit card, and I had like another two that followed suit. And the mindset was the year 2000 was it. Young, naive, gullible. everything surrounding the Y2K, and then religious groups, all religious groups said the year 2000. You had rappers say it. There's only 5 years left in 1995 about the year 2000. Nothing happened as far as an end that everybody was visioning or expecting to happen, like destruction. That didn't happen. But it was the end of an era, a new millennium. From the 19s into the 20s. Everybody that said the year 2000 was supposed to be the end of the world, if it was during the time of Moses, they'd be stoned. They'd be stoned to death for lying and giving false prophecy. You just play with that, saying God said and God didn't tell you nothing. Saying God showed me and God didn't show you nothing. Yeah, people on rooftops crying out. Talking about God revealed. God didn't show you nothing. Stop lying. When and if God shows any man or woman anything, it will be manifest. What I encourage everybody that's tuned in to do is, if you hear somebody say that God said or God showed, God said to them or God showed them or God spoke to them or God revealed to them that such and such is going to happen, mark their words. And when the day comes and it doesn't happen, you call them on it and you let them know that they're false prophets, deceivers, liars. The prophets of God didn't make no mistakes. Anything that was given to them from God was factual and it happened immediately. It wasn't something that was vague. It was something that was direct and exact, and it happened. It's a lot of false prophets, self-professed prophets, self-professed leaders. And then they lie and say that God is with them, not knowing the danger that they in for lying and saying that God is with them and he is not. Whoever, male or female, that God would reveal anything to, or that God will have the use of them for, it will be manifested. Just like every other person that we've read about, if you've read the Bible, every prophet, every person that was chosen for an assignment to do something, they were validated. There was proof with them that they were who they were. God did that. It wasn't them self-proclaiming. There's nowhere written that any prophet said, I'm that one. I'm the dude. So don't fall for the tricks. So we still in, again, we in that time of deception. So with that, salute to everybody that tuned in. Will you follow suit or will you resist? What it sound like? Talk to me. Is this something that should be alarming? Right. Yeah, I'm going to save that comment, the other one. Everybody that's tapped in may not know about that, but again, that's coming. That topic will be coming. But there's some interesting things that are happening that, before signing off, there's some interesting things that's still going on and that's coming, like this 3-eye atlas. Now it's supposed to be other ships that's with it. And the main one broke off into 3 pieces. Like, there's some stuff happening and it's speeding up. What are they about to do? That's the question. What are they about to do? So we might be going into that, God willing. I might be going into that next week with a presentation on that, the update on this 3-eye atlas. If you're a believer, you should know that we are in an enclosed plane under a dome with a firmament. The sun and the moon and the stars is within our firmament. So how is something coming from somewhere else? Most people don't believe in the firmament. Most people don't even know about it. They don't believe in the dome. They don't know about it. And they claim that they believe in God, but they follow the doctrine of heliocentrism. The heliocentric doctrine of everything revolving around the sun. The earth is supposed to be traveling through space at 66,000 miles per hour. And the axis is on a tilt. It equals to 6. Even the weight of the earth is supposed to be 6 sextillion tons. Everything is with the number 6. And the doctrine that the earth revolves around the sun and all the other quote unquote planets is a lie. The earth was created first, and that is the center of everything. The sun and the moon is within the firmament and the stars under the dome covering the flat plane. The circular flat plane. So there's nothing coming in. So what is this that's supposed to be coming? What do they have up their sleeves? Let's see. I'll be back next week, God willing, to continue with another presentation. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Salute to everybody that's here. And as always, it's God time. Peace.